So behave.
Bad. Be good.
Good. And four.
This is a public hearing that we're gonna be discussing, applying to the Business Council for a grant. This is a feasibility grant, to see if it's feasible to put a data center in Shoshone. Like I said, it's just a feasibility study. We have many things that they look for in a data center here located in Shoshone. So this would be a feasibility study, to see if it's feasible. I know recently we had a motel feasibility study a few years ago. It said a motel wasn't feasible, but they recommended that we build, cabins. Someone built cabins, could be a profit center, but motel just didn't make sense. So we're open to take questions from the audience. So if you have something, you got a question or something, just please come up to the podium there and
If it's too hard for her to get over there, Joe. let
well,
her
we
walk.
can get maybe get the.
Apologize for my tardiness. I got a little hung up. I was
Yes,
trying to hurry.
we got here just about right.
My name is Janelle Kushevsky.
Could you speak up, please?
Oh. My name's Janelle Kushevsky, and I have a question about the data center. Is that one of the really big buildings with the really loud fans on it?
We're not really, we don't know what size is gonna be recommended here.
Okay.
So I know much of the modern, I just toured a facility in Cheyenne. That it wasn't real loud, they're insulated, they have, they
Does-
use.
I've seen articles and news clips online and stuff that talk about some areas get these huge buildings and they have just huge fans that run all day and night and
Mhm.
are not quiet. So I'm just keep that in mind
Sure.
when they come out to ask them about.
Sure, it's, we don't know what size of data center would be recommended for our area for one. We're not gonna probably get the mega center like Cheyenne's gonna get, I don't think. I really, do not know exactly what size, that's what the feasibility study is. So the feasibility study, it will make recommendations. And so we actually don't know what they're gonna recommend and the size of it. We don't know.
Yeah,
We just don't until we do the feasibility study to look at what the size of it. We don't know where we would put it.
if it's out of hearing range, then that would be.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it's not gonna be downtown Shoshone or
I
next
have
to your
enough
house.
Trouble getting to sleep. at
I'm
night.
sure it's not gonna be, next to your house.
Okay.
I don't know, where it's gonna be.
Okay,
Uh,
I guess we'll wait and see what pans out.
in the Shoshone area.
Okey doke.
Anything else you should?
I
No?
think he's just making sure I don't fall.
Okay,
Yeah.
Teresa Taylor. Who approached the town to do this feasible study?
Peter. Godfrey, yes. And he's actually on the state of Wyoming's Energy Commission appointed by the governor.
Okay. And is this grant 100% or what's the town's
The
Cost.
town would be paying 1/3.
a third? Okay. And I mean, you've got quite a few people here, which I was really kind of surprised, but is there a time limit as to for the grant or to have this feasible study done? The
We,
reason I'm asking is why you guys decide to have a public meeting on Friday on a Labor Day weekend?
because to apply for the grant this year,
Right,
we had to have it done. You gotta give 7 days notice, which we did, and today was the 7th day. And so today was the day. If we don't do that today, we wait another year. So that was not my idea. That's what the business council told us we had to do.
okay. No, I
We
just wondered
needed to do
because
it today or wait a year.
it was kind of a, bad timing, I think.
Oh,
you know.
I agree. It's, I would not, but if we were gonna act this year,
So during this study, is there going to be another public hearing where people can put input
well,
on
sure.
there?
Yeah, and all this is a study.
Right,
And that's all it is. And during the study, they will be having town input. Yeah.
okay.
I mean, that's just part of it. It's just,
So
and
later
they'll be
on-
they'll be looking at options. They'll be looking at sizes. Where should it be?
So it's not locking the town into anything?
No, it's
or
not
anything
locking,
else if
no.
The
Other
public
than-
don't want it?
I have the same questions as
Okay.
you, like, I'm with you. Is it locking us into anything other than the study?
No,
So we could, if we don't, depending on what the study comes up with,
correct,
we could say, no, we don't want that.
correct.
And if they decide to build it out of city limits, can we say, actually, we're not gonna sell you water, you're not in city limits? Do we have that authority? That's a question I have.
We,
To stop the project if the town's against it.
I think, I'll interject on the water piece. Everybody's got this idea that they're already mind made up that this is gonna be uranium or, right? And I think that is, or nuclear powered. And everybody's got this persona that this is a bad thing. But nobody knows if it's gonna be nuclear powered. It could be coal powered. It could be natural gas powered. There's no set on what energy source is supplying this data center. I understand that other data centers around or Cheyenne, maybe nuclear, etc. But that doesn't tie the town to any specific one. So I think just reading comments on Facebook, I think that's our
the
community's
question was,
concern.
considering water.
Right, and where I'm going with that is, no matter what source it is, even if it was a nuclear source, the water's, I could be wrong here, but from my research, the water is recycled. So it is, a big portion of the water is recycled in these new data centers.
But it can be. If the water is, okay, we have a Shoshoni alumnus that is a co-founder of a data center in Cheyenne, New Navi. Courtney Thompson, co-founder of a data center. I look them up on the internet. Their energy usage is world class. And one of the reasons Wyoming is popular because of that, they can do much of their cooling with ambient air and not with water. Right. 70% of the time. But they use very little down there. But look up LUNAVI data centers.
Right.
Well,
Well,
Courtney Thompson, like I said, he's a Shoshoni alumnus, 1997 grad.
my question was, does the town have to sell water out of municipality.
No,
But all right, so,
they could drill their own water well.
right, so what I was getting at is for the concerns, if there are concerns that are raised during, if we do apply for the grant, and spend the
Mhm.
money and get the study done. So we have a complete understanding of what would be recommended as far as noise pollution is important,
that-
water usage and things like that. The town would still,
That's why we have the study.
right, so what I'm saying is, I was just clarifying that if we go ahead with the study. If the town doesn't,
We're not obligated to go any
and
further.
we can
Yes,
stop it right then and there
Sure.
if the findings of the study are not agreeable to the citizens.
correct.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
we're
just
not, we're not.
clarifying on the
No,
record.
no, I mean, that's all I got to say about that.
Well,
Okay,
it's 2025.
yeah, I know, but I mean, yeah, all this is a study to see if it's feasible. They may say, heck, no, it ain't a good place to build one, or yeah, maybe it's a darn good place one to build one. And the size, we don't know what they're looking at, it could bring a lot of high-paying jobs to Shoshone.
I'm just getting it on
And
the
I
record.
got a grandson that works for Microsoft in Cheyenne. But there's, no, this is a study to see if it's a fit for Shoshone.
Do you have any other questions, Teresa?
Yeah, so how much is this study gonna cost?
It's our estimate, we can apply for up to a $50,000 grant.
Okay,
That would cost the town $16,600 and $66.67, something like that. That would be the cost to Shoshone,
and where would that
Maximum
money come
cost.
out of?
huh?
Where would that come out of?
Out of our general fund. No, that's coming out of capital construction.
That's all I have.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mayor, could I just make a couple comments?
Please do, Peter.
Peter Gottfried. I'm on the Wyoming Energy Resources Council. And when I heard that the mayor was interested in a data center up here, I thought, well, let's figure out whether that's feasible. Let's do some work to figure out if that is actually doable here and whether the residents want it. Well, we don't even know what it is yet. We don't know how big it is, whether the fans are going to make a lot of noise, whether we're going to have nuclear power, coal, or whatever. So what I recommended the mayor to do is do a small study to see whether an alternatives analysis to see whether Jake, this is going to be a place to do it,
Right.
because these things are not just like,
They're
building a
expensive, too.
grain elevator. These are high-tech things, and they use power and they use resources. But one of the things that Shoshone has going for it, first of all, I'm from Du Bois and it's in Fremont County. And my goal is to bring economic development to Fremont County. That's my goal as a citizen, as a member of the Energy Resources Council. And as you know, President Trump has got 6 executive orders that he's initiated that we're going to drill, baby, drill, mine, baby, mine, map, baby, map, and really get our energy dominance in the world. And we're going to be a dominant country in energy production and AI. We're going to beat the Chinese. We are, and we already are. So my goal is to bring economic development to Fremont County and good paying skilled labor, skilled jobs that build these things and the technical knowledge to actually run these things. Because a data center is not just something that Amazon builds and it's only for generating, your return label for your Amazon package. It could be used for running the government of Fremont County. It could be running the school board. It could run this kind. these things have a lot of uses and they're modular. You can make them as big or small as you want. And the power that goes into them, make them as big and smaller as you want. But looking at the map and looking at this area in Fremont County, Shoshoni has a lot of things going for it. First of all, it has a lot of land around it. And we're not saying that it has to be in the city limits. We could lease BLM land for all that matter. It has a rail service, a direct rail line to our coal fields. And everybody's talking about exporting coal. Well, why don't we use the coal in Wyoming here? Okay, so coal plants are an option. Okay, we have a natural gas field out of town. We don't have a pipeline, but we could build a pipeline and have a natural gas generating unit using our own resources right here in Wyoming. We're not exporting anywhere. Great opportunity. We have good roads. We have a river. Now, we're not going to suck all the water out of the river because it's already accounted for. We have to run the hydro. There's irrigation. So we can't just like suck it out of the river. But we do have water. We also have transmission lines coming from the hydro plant, and we may have to build some more because we're probably going to connect with either Rocky Mountain Power or Tri-State for the excess electricity that's going to be generated. Somebody's going to have to run those generating plants, whether it's coal, gas, or nuclear. So that's employment right here in the area. Okay. One of the things that this study is going to do is it is going to answer your question. Is this the right place for it or not? Are we knuckleheads or what? Or are we like ahead of the curve here in Fremont County? Are we going to do something here that nobody else is doing in Fremont County? That's kind of cool, but is it going to work? One of the things that the study is also going to do is to have a lot of public participation because we want your input. We want you to say, well, that's not a very good place to put it. Or is this thing going to cause a lot of noise, whatever? Are we going to get more rail traffic? Of course, trains make noise too when there are things that happen. So one of the things that's going to come out of this study, and it's probably going to come out along the way. It's not going to be like, okay, here's the study, folks. That's not the way this works. The people involved with the study, and hopefully I want to be involved with it, are going to be working with you and the rest of the community and the rest of Fremont County, because the folks in Riverton may say, hell no, we're not putting that thing up in this part of the county, or why don't you put it over here? So there's going to be a fight, breaking out, whatever. So all I'm saying is, and Council Lady Timmy, I know you have some concerns about nuclear. We're gonna look at that option. And it's not gonna, if we do nuclear, it's not gonna be run by Homer Simpson. And it's not gonna be 3 Mile Island. These things are pretty advanced now. And so we're gonna get all into that, and we're gonna discuss it, and we're gonna talk about it. Pardon?
Ones that you use, are they cool usually?
Well, they're building one in Kemmer right now that uses liquid sodium as their coolant, not water, sodium. And that's the new technology that's going to. So don't have to use water. You can use liquid sodium. I wouldn't want to stick my finger on liquid sodium, but who knows? Maybe it'll taste good on, a steak or something. But so the technology is advancing. In fact, I'm inviting the folks from the Tennessee Valley Authority, which is that little utility over in the east, to come out and talk to our council in November about what they're doing. They're building a new reactor, a no modular reactor, not one of their big ones you think of as 3 Mile Island. They've got a number of those, but the technology is moving ahead. But the important point is we're going to look at all options: coal, natural gas, nuclear to power these things, or heaven forbid, we'll import electricity from all those windmills. But that's not base load power. That's unreliable power. So we're gonna look at all things. We're gonna be involved with the community. It's not gonna be like, so we're gonna have a lot of these hearings. And along the way, we're gonna show you what we've discovered. And we're gonna say, we're probably looking at 500 acres. So we're gonna be looking at places around the community, 500 acres. And you may say, oh, Farmer Joe, I don't think he's gonna approve that. Okay, fine, we'll take that off the table. So that's the important thing, is there's gonna be a lot of input from the community, I think. Joel, would you
Yeah,
agree?
it's, if those of you remember when we did our master plan, the involvement, the meetings we had down at the town plaza, we had meetings, interviewing people, involving the whole town. And that this is gonna be a very similar process as what we did then. They're gonna be reaching out to the community. We held public meetings in town hall. We had sort of town hall roundtable meetings, had big meeting down, down at the town plaza. And this is gonna be a similar process. And as Peter said, this may not be the place. But I feel wouldn't be doing my job as mayor if we didn't look at it. I'd like to have jobs for my grandchildren to be able to stay here. I mean, good paying jobs. I'd like enough people living in Shoshoni that we could have a darn cafe and, could have enough people here that would support it, that could have a cafe here. I mean, they're things, we don't want to be 10,000 people like Riverton. But what happened if we were 1,000 people? Similar to Du Bois in size, there's options.
One more thing. If the town decides to move forward with this and we start the permitting process, which is it's a fairly large operation. One thing the community might just has to be aware of, this is going to be a massive construction project. And so, as you know what big construction projects all about. It's like traffic on the roads. It's like new people coming in here. And so we have part of the feasibility study is also going to be looking at temporary housing and additional housing for full-time residents after the fact, and also managing traffic and managing construction activities so it minimizes the impact to the existing community. And I think that's very important.
Also, just depends on the size of the project.
Right.
Right, depends on the size of the project.
Yeah.
You won't use dogs for all of those things that you're talking about, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. So we're talking economic development.
Exactly.
We're trying to improve the economy of Fremont County and the state of Wyoming, by the way. My goal is to beat Texas, is basically what I'm saying. So if we want to do things here in Wyoming that are substantial and we beat Texas. Because they're kind of big. So. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would say when I went down and seen Unavi's facility, and I had no idea Courtney Thompson was from Shoshone. But I went down to that, I was really impressed with their facility and their efficiency. The lack of, they're world class in energy use. They're not using a lot of energy, not using lots of water. They just really are a very good, clean facility. Just pretty, I was amazed by it. And so I think it's something that the town of Shoshone should look at and see if it works for us. That's, if we don't, if you know, if we don't move forward and look at something like this, it's, we're, could be missing a great opportunity for kids and grandkids and great grandkids, and these are, turns into long-term jobs, and it's a study, they did a study that said every job that's created at the data center, 2 other jobs will also pop up in support. So if you have a data center that employs, say, 20 people, we're looking at, the study says 40 more people will have jobs. So 20 turns into 60. And that's a big boost for Shoshone, and, you know, that's just a data center. But I don't know, I think we just ought to look at it. Please, go ahead.
John Meyer. I think for myself, to get more information is never a bad thing. And I think what I need to keep in mind here is what a feasibility study is, just that, to get us the information. Won't give us the answer of the final product, but is it even feasible to begin the project? So I guess in one of the questions I have is, who is performing the feasibility study? How long do they anticipate that taking? I mean, you said you want to do this year, but that's just to apply for the grant. Is that correct?
Yep, the grant needs to be applied. The grant would not be awarded till next spring.
Okay. So then the grant is going to pay
Or-
for somebody to come and say, is this a good place? Are the resources here? Is the public support here? Is the even the
Yeah.
people to work in this place here?
Correct.
So I just want to, you know, for myself, maybe for
Well-
others to have the questions, is this is not we're not saying today that, yes, we're going to have it.
We have no
We're
idea.
having a, find out what, Peter said, what it is. We don't even know, is it bigger
We
than a
don't.
bread box? I don't know how big this thing is. They talk about it being huge, and I'm sure there are different sizes. Do we know who then is
No.
going to do the
John,
study?
John Mars, past mayor of Du Bois. So you know how it works. We gotta look for, advertise for a professional that are in this field, and then hire someone to do that. The state of Wyoming may even offer to us their recommendations. But that we would have to hire professionals that are professional in doing this type of assessment.
Okay.
And that's,
So somebody that's familiar with the
yes,
field.
well, yeah,
Okay. Some of these questions I'm asking for just information to get out, not just
You bet,
for
I
myself,
appreciate it.
but for other people
Yeah, I
here
appreciate it,
that may
yes.
not know how to ask a question,
Yeah.
or maybe this will generate.
I was just trying to
questions.
clarify everybody
Yeah.
that your knowledge of the
Well, I appreciate,
of the process.
yeah,
So, yeah,
okay.
but that's what we,
So the grant that's applied for won't be, is it a guaranteed grant
no,
if you apply for it?
we're applying, we may not get it.
Okay,
Our representative, for our district likes our possibilities. He likes this project. Patrick Edwards,
mhm,
who his children go to school in Shoshone, he lives out in Missouri Valley. But he's our regional representative for the Wyoming Business Council. He's very positive on it. We've been working with ID Inc. from Riverton for technical assistance, and yeah, they're very high on the project also. And they.
But right here tonight, we're not talking about the project, we're talking about
The
a
feasibility
study to
study.
see if it's even feasible to
Correct.
do the project.
And for those that don't know, ID Inc. is who owns the big building out there for the rail car, for the rail car service. And that's who Curry worked through ID Inc. and BDW to set up their process back in, was it 2000 or 2001, whenever they built that facility. ID Inc. is the one that stepped forward to build it. But anyway, and so that's how they owned it, and as a business ready grant they worked through on it. They're a nonprofit organization that's been helping Fremont County since the 80s.
That was all I had right now.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you.
Mayor. I appreciate it. More questions?
Tony Olson, I'd just like to say I'm supportive of this. I don't know anything about it other than saw it was published and wanted to come kind of see what it was about. I'm retired. I worked up at the school as a technology director, so coordinator, trained Courtney Thompson. So he was one of my first students. I had
And
a
my
lot of-
grandson, Ethan.
Yeah, a lot of kids I've worked with, gone on, got really good jobs. Unfortunately, the majority of them had to move away because
Yes.
we don't have a lot of jobs here. Data center would be something that, if a nice data center went in here, you'd pick a location, in case there was noise and stuff, it wouldn't, outweigh from people. I don't think there'd be a major issue with it, but it provide good paying jobs, and I would be interested in serving on a committee, looking into the feasibility of this. If you're
Well, I
if you're looking
appreciate
for
that.
anybody.
That's one of the things would probably is gonna come out of this.
And then I'd
Yeah.
also, I'm just personally interested in the results of the feasibility study, just because I'm interested in this stuff, and I've worked with a lot of kids that have moved away, and it'd be nice to be able to keep some of our local people working here, and I'd be interested in, helping train people. I mean, even CWC
Yes,
trains a lot of people. I used to teach over CWC. They, we'd get a lot of CWC students come work at the school, just because there's not a whole lot of places to train kids, get your kids trained, and there's not a whole lot of places to send them to get jobs. And so I sent a lot of people to Wyoming.com over the years. I've got kids all over the world, actually. And it would be nice to keep some of them here in Shoshone. So
well,
I'm
Tony,
supportive in that case.
didn't at one time didn't the Shoshone STEM program where they ranked #1 in the state? I believe we got an award at one time.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I know.
Yeah.
We used to take a bunch of kids down the Wyoming Hackathon
You
and
bet.
do the stuff there, and we did quite well.
Yes, yes.
Matter of fact, we kind of cleaned house and outdid most of the colleges that showed up. So
Yes.
anyway, our kids are capable. It just need someone to provide the instruction to them, and it'd be great to work with the colleges and be able to, bring their kids in and give them some work experience and a place to actually get a good paying job when they're done. And so I would be supportive, depending on what the feasibility study come out. And
Sure.
And just want to let you know that I'm willing to serve if you need me.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Jordan, do you have?
No, I've done a lot of research on this myself, just to educate myself. And I think the pros of this are, it's going to upgrade our grid if it were to happen after the feasible study. Obviously, I know we're talking about the feasible study, but it would update our power grid, the amount of jobs it would bring. Tony mentioned the cycle of our own products possibly being there instead of moving away to Tennessee or Florida or wherever across the world. We'd have them here, or maybe a large portion of them, hopefully. But I just think that this is all of you have a phone, and the way our phones are headed, right? I mean, you can ask Chat GPT now how to paint your back porch and to write you a love letter to your spouse, and it's done in about 10 seconds. And that's just the way our world's headed. And
You
so,
just ratted yourself out.
And no spelling errors.
yeah,
That was our first clue.
but I just think we would be negligent on our behalf to not take this feasible study and find out what it has to offer. Because we could be one of the first to do this and to be somebody that is the game changer and leads the cart rather than is following, and 10 years down the road, we're kicking ourselves in the rear end going, what an opportunity we had, but now it's over here or over there. And we let it go by because we were closed-minded. So I think no matter what the option is, I think we all just need to be open-minded and understand that nothing is in concrete, and there's going to be concerns. I have some concerns too. And I have a long no to those. And I promise that I will ask those concerns when this gets to that point. Obviously, I have kids growing up here and a family here, and I care about the future of this place in the positive and the negative aspect. And so I think we just need to be open-minded is where I'm going with this. I don't think we need to have a closed mind and have this fog built in our head before we even get there. So I think I would just ask all of you to be open-minded and write your questions down and see how we can answer them and solve them. And with this study, we'll probably be able to answer and solve a lot of that. That's all I got.
Mark, please.
So I have a question for you, Peter.
Yeah.
So what is the Wyoming Energy Resource Council's role in a feasibility study?
None.
Okay,
The
but you talk like you're really kind of
Wyoming Energy Resources Council manages the University of Wyoming School of Energy Resources. So we get involved with all types of energy resources from the standpoint of coal production and coal uses and carbon sequestration, and we also have a certificate of nuclear science for graduates to go into the nuclear field. It does not have a direct role in this feasibility study at all. I'm just using my knowledge to impart what I know about and I've done feasibility studies for 40 years, my little company, and I know what needs to be involved with a feasibility study, including public participation and the alternative analysis, which is a big part of it. So I'm here not representing the Wyoming Energy Resources Council. I'm a member of that council, but I have a lot of experience in energy and environmental issues associated with energy production and use.
Are there good folks out there that are capable of writing this type of feasibility study?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so hundreds, thousands, 10.
I wouldn't say thousands. This is such a new field now, and it's like a gold rush. Who's going to build the next data center? So it's new. But feasibility studies are looking at the same things. What are the resources that you have? We also have really high-speed fiber optic cable, which is very important for a data center also. Range has got, they got cop. Feasibility studies look at all the resources in the community and all the options that are available. And I asked the mayor before the meeting, I said, what do you actually really want? So you as a council have to come up with, what do you want for Shoshoni? What do you want? What do you want to see? Do you want to see growth? Do you want to see jobs? Do you want to see more restaurants? Do you want to see just the way it is? And what's gonna be the best option available for you folks, decision makers, to make that happen. And that's part of the feasibility study also. So hopefully that answers your question. Maybe it didn't.
It does. This is a specialty type of report or study that's gonna be done. And you need the experts to be able to
Right.
do that and make it, I mean, and cover all the bases. I'm
Right.
afraid of the part that concerns me is, well, what did we miss? And is that gonna bite us later? I mean, that's. Sort of
Yeah,
thing.
and one of, if I'm fortunate enough to bid on this and get the job, my team also includes people who do feasibility studies all over the country for data centers. I have a team of people, another company that I subcontract with to do that. So that, and they're also plugged in with the people who actually are looking to build a data center. So you also have that, one of the things that comes out of this feasibility study is a marketing brochure to the folks who are actually going to build these things. Okay, here's some sites. Here's the job pool they have here. Here's the land availability. And that gets to be kind of the sales brochure for people who build these things like Microsoft. And I'm just saying Microsoft or Amazon. I don't think we want a mountain-sized data center like, so, but who knows? So that would be the feasibility study not only tells you whether it's feasible, and let's say that it's feasible. Let's say it's a medium-sized data center with a medium-sized power plant is feasible here, and it's located X number of places somewhere on a 500 acres, and it also includes an industrial park, which also makes jobs and also creates other kind of activities. That feasibility study gets turned into a marketing piece that goes to people who are looking to put a data center in the right spots. A lot of these data centers are being put in rural areas because they don't want to go to New York City, or they don't want to go to Dallas. They don't want to go any of these places that have all kinds of issues. They want to come to a rural America, and so they're coming. We're going to see more of these in Wyoming, no matter whether Shoshone gets them or not. We're going to see them. We're just trying to tap into that market, and hopefully it'll benefit this area and Fremont County and the state of Wyoming. And that's my ultimate goal, is help the state of Wyoming.
Would you say, our average ambient air pressure or temperature has a lot to do why they're attracted to Wyoming?
Yeah, I think it's cooler.
Takes less energy.
Less energy to run them. It's cooler. Of course, they have to insulate them a little bit better than being one in Florida. But yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. So I'm excited, and I like the idea of working with a community college too, because that's
Yes.
Central Wyoming, and I'm a big believer in the trades. I think for every 5 people who are retiring from the trades, whether you're a pipe fitter, electrician, or carpenter, only 2 people are coming in. So we have a real problem, and so I think Central College is Wyoming College is a great example of where we could start really building a trades program for these kind of things. And that, again, that's economic development. It keeps kids here. So I want to keep kids here because they get trained, University of Wyoming, the college is here, and they leave because there are no jobs for them, and that's a problem. Not unless you want to pump gas in at the gas station.
Yep. Peter, Councilman Nordine is a dean at Central Wyoming College.
Really? All right. Well, there you go. So
Yeah.
if we're fortunate to do this, we'll be working together to enhance that program, because that's a big deal.
It sounds like it
And-
would be. Yeah.
And the University of Wyoming has a great partnership with the colleges in this state, and I think that's going to be even more important as we move forward. Because one of the things I mentioned at last year's Jackson Hole conference on technology, and these are all investors and high-tech people and from all over the world. And I got up and I said, well, who's gonna build all these things anyway that you're talking about? And that's a problem. Because we don't have enough people to even to build a, John, you know that how long it takes to get a cabin built in Du Bois, 2-year backlog for just to build a cabin. Can you imagine building a data center? So we have a problem with construction. And that's gonna be somewhat of an issue for the state to deal with, including our community. Yes, sir.
Is with if this passes and we do a feasibility study, would that include the estimated impact to the community?
Oh, absolutely.
Like as far as power, water, noise, pollution, would that be part of the study we're looking at?
Yeah, and also people and, people, transient people, not transients like you think, but people coming from Riverton to, work on the project, traffic on the roads, those kind of things. Yeah, that's, and where are we gonna house permanent residents and where are we gonna house temporary residents? That's gonna be part of it. That's all part of it. And whether we want it or not in this community, you might be satisfied with, and that's an alternative. Do nothing.
That's always an alternative.
It's all right. Okay. Anything else?
Thank you. Peter.
Good.
Hi. So.
Can you
my
speak
question
up,
for
Joe?
you Is a lot, yeah.
That way everybody can,
Get on the record.
yeah.
Well.
You're
My
on
name's
YouTube.
Joe Nordine. Only been around for 4-ish years here in Shoshone. But Peter, the question I have for you is that when I look at the people in the community, we talk about the jobs, we talk about the training programs, and all of that's really, really exciting. But is there a component in all of this that talks to change management? For me in my business world, anytime we go into a customer's organization, there's always this, right? There's always this issue of change. Do we have access to components in a model that talks to how to help people with the change?
Well, I'm gonna rely on John here because we're from Du Bois and,
Yeah,
Du Bois is, you know how Du Bois is. We have the largest museum of military vehicles in the world in Du Bois. And it's quite an operation. If you haven't been there, come on over and check this out. This is an amazing place. But a lot of people in the community didn't like it. They didn't like it coming in. Because it changed the nature, and we have all these foreigners coming in. Now, a lot of them are veterans. I mean, they complain about that, no. But it did change the complexion of who's in the community,
yes,
and
yes, it
and
does.
that's kind of a similar thing. That big museum is probably kind of a similar mental thing, a big different thing coming into a small little community of 900 people. Here's what, 500 or 600. Those things, you're gonna have people who like it and people who don't. That's just the natural nature of it.
Yes.
And,
It is, however, there's this element of being able to help people walk through that process. Just like we were talking about specialized or new areas that are coming up. These are people that are well versed in addressing things that may be frightening or concerning, or where's that money coming from, or all of those kinds of things that the question might get answered in a feasibility study. But
that's a tough one. Cause
what
I
is the
know
tough one? What's the tough one?
finding an answer to that. I don't think there is an answer to that.
Okay, so there isn't any organized element that comes in and just helps manage the change.
That would probably be something additional that the community is gonna have to deal with. Okay?
So that would be my recommendation
That would
too.
be something additional. Cause most of us came here to get away from things, right? We
Yes,
we get,
yes.
I'm from Florida. And we're the 3rd largest state. We're catching up to Texas. And we have a lot of people, especially from blue states coming down. And so people come here, and I know I did. And even the people crossing over in wagon trains, and some of them, the wheel busted and they go, well, I guess we're just staying here now. But we got away, we came here because this is population 600,000 people. My county in Florida, Orange County's got 2 million people. Okay, the whole state here has 600,000. There's a reason for that, and a lot of it has to do with the winter and the elevation. But we came here to kind of get away and be free and open and do what we wanted. And so when we bring new things in, we're going, is this going to turn into? When I grew up, citrus was your biggest industry in cattle ranching in Florida. And then Walt Disney decided to bring Walt Disney World. That changed everything. In fact, that's the #1 destination this Labor Day weekend. My hometown of Orlando. So anyway, yeah, I think that's gonna have to be dealt with, but I don't know what. Did you figure it out? And you boys?
One of the things that I did do, and I hope to help people understand, is I tell them, go stand on the corner and look down the street and tell me how many businesses would still be in operation between there and Horse Creek if the original owners hadn't left and a new owner took over, even within the last 20 years. And you would look at all of the businesses there, and there were maybe 2 or 3, probably less now because some of those are sold.
Yeah.
That 20 years ago, the same people running those businesses were there then and are still there today. Today, it's all new people.
It's all new.
And so you look at that and you say, okay, if we didn't have the new people come in, we would have 3 businesses in half of the town. And the rest would be nothing, empty. So you have to accept change. And I get what you're saying, of accepting it, and it's just something, how you do that individually, I don't know. I know how I did it, but other people took them a little while to think about.
Yes, Joe.
So Mayor Joel, that's kind of that's my heart right there, is to, as we walk into this, it was just like when we started tonight, people didn't really understand what a feasibility study was.
Right.
And so there's a real need for people to take time, and conversation just like this, right? Because that's how change happens. It happens through these conversations. But at the same time, if we don't recognize all of the nuances to what it means to change, we can kind of catch ourselves in that. So I don't have an answer. I just have an awareness of what it means. Done with my comment.
No, well,
I'm
thank
really
you. And
excited
we'll,
by
and
this. I think this is an awesome opportunity for us. But it will.
it's gonna have a lot of community input. That's the way it's
Yes.
designed. I'd like to see enough people here where you can have a cafe. That's one of my driving points. Tammy. You've been relatively quiet. Any other questions from the public? Do we have anybody online?
Nope.
Any other questions, comments? From the audience?
Seems to me like it's a pass of the money for the study, but when you think about it, be a multi-million-dollar project. I think it's all we're would be agreeing to is investing some money for knowledge. And if it comes back, yeah, you should do it, then what should we do? What would be the impact to the community? And then we can decide if we actually want it or not.
Correct.
It'd be if we don't spend the money on the study, we'll never know ever. And it may not be something we want. But I
Agreed.
think it's worth the investment to find out if it's something we want.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at.
And as I got on the record, there's plenty of stops. I've been assured.
Yes,
There are plenty of stops other than our share of the taxpayer dollars for the study. That's the only thing, if we agree to it, we can't stop. But at any point from there on out, if it's turning into something the community does not want, we can stop it at any time.
yes.
So therefore, we're not committing to anything
It's,
major. We're just buying knowledge.
we're buying knowledge, it's a gamble that it'll benefit the citizens in the town of Shoshone.
And if the answer is no, it'll suck. That's knowledge we bought and we don't have to come back to it.
Right.
So it's no matter what the answer is, we've bought knowledge.
Anybody else? John?
That's kind of about what I was gonna say when I came up here, and I agree with the gentleman over here, that in my opinion, I think this is something that the town should pursue the application of the grant, and I mean, that's the first step, right? You don't even know if you'll get the grant.
Right.
But and there's your first stop. If you don't get the grant,
Correct.
then game over. So I would recommend from a citizen here of Shoshone that the council go ahead and at least make the application to see where we go from there. As you said, we're buying knowledge, and knowledge is never a bad thing. Thank you.
Can I have a show of hands from the citizens that are in the audience now? Who thinks that we should move forward on this? Can I have a show of hands? It looks like we have unanimous that we should move forward and at least take a look at it. And I appreciate everybody's concerns and worries. I had mine also, but I've been looking at this ever since last June when I went down and seen what they had going, trying to figure out if this would be, how in the heck we could get something like this but I got two grandsons that are, and I got one of them that works for Microsoft down in Cheyenne, you know. I'd love to get him up here working, you know. I got another one that works in Riverton, an IT guy, you know, and I'm selfish. But I think it'd be good for the whole town and try to keep kids here working. That's my thoughts, but we got to see at what cost.
Can I say one
Right.
more thing?
Yes, please do.
I want to thank everybody for coming down. I thought it was really great discussion, great ideas, questions and concerns, and I really appreciate it. And I hope there's a lot more of this in the future to help make sure we're doing what we ought to be doing. And I really appreciate the discussions and the questions.
Good questions.
I have the
There's
same
issues.
ones too.
Yeah.
I'm on the same page.
Yeah. Well, very good. If there's nothing else, we're near 7 o'clock. That was when we had scheduled 6 to 7 o'clock for this public hearing. And I sure appreciate, did everybody sign and make sure Kim gets names for everybody that was here? If you don't mind signing, you don't have to.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 25-004.
We need to open, we need to go into special meeting, Councilman,
Okay.
first. That's but I appreciate your eagerness.
I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, let's get her.
So we got to adjourn the public hearing.
Yes, we need to adjourn the public hearing. Do we have a move?
I have a motion.
Second.
And been moved and second that we adjourn the public hearing. Yeah, Councilwoman Hardkey, second by Councilman Stetler, that we adjourn our public hearing. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same, motion passed. I don't know if I really needed to make a motion like that, but we did.
I don't care.
Yeah, but it works. But anyway,
So if we take 5 minutes,
yes, 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yep.
Mark, I was ready.
I know, but I'm not. You're awesome.
Well, that's true. Yep. I did.
Let me show you. Once I'm all screwed up.
I'm not too worried. I haven't found it in my email. I think it's going to my company or my town council.
Oh, I think I said.
And so you sent me the follow-up email to my personal. The link was. There might have been a link on there. I don't remember. For some reason I don't see it.
Okay. Because I know.
That might have been. I think that's what.
One day. Accident.
Does that let you know which bad luck shows? And I'm working. Now, here we are, we're, we do not be leaving it. I don't even try to think. I put his car seat in the truck. We don't have an airbag. Yeah. I just didn't have. Last year. It's one of the. Yeah, we don't. I remember hearing that. Yeah, we know. Sir? Nope. I messaged Harold about bison, and I don't remember responding, so just making sure approving now. And I showed her the message.
Well, that's good to know.
I try not to waste too much
I said, don't let you lie.
I try not.
Yeah, okay.
That's like the nicest conversation. Meeting we've had in quite a while. And then I felt like. Be, get comfortable, relax. Yeah, kind of things about civility and.
They usually don't go that way. We usually like.
That's why
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I don't see it. I was next to it. Either way.
I Yeah. Oh, Lisa was here, but yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
And I don't have it always.
No, you're welcome.
They said, well, and I know this goes off. I don't know.
I woke up one night and I said, I'm gonna do it.
I've got 15 gray hairs.
We'll figure this out.
There's get great.
Yeah, my goal is satisfied. It's gonna be a tough one. I do.
I'd be happy to put it on the list. Don't think you have,
Are we ready?
Let's do this.
Well.
That's it. I want to hear Tammy say. "Go to jail." So
I want to hear that one too.
Okay, we're gonna give the pledge of allegiance for starting our
Okay.
special meeting August 29th, 2025. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let the roll call show that all is present. We do have a quorum. New business resolution 25-004. I'll read that. A resolution authorizing submission of an application to the Wyoming Business Council under the Business Ready Community Grant and Loan Program for a planning project on behalf of the governing body, the town of Shoshoni. Whereas the governing body, town of Shoshone, desires to participate in a business ready community grant loan program to assist in financing this project. Whereas the governing body of the town of Shoshone recognizes the need for new business enterprises in Shoshone, which will bring higher paying jobs into the local economy, and believes this project will address those needs. And whereas the public benefits of this project will be to increase availability of high paying jobs to support the local economy and bring additional residents to Shoshone, thereby increasing the tax base for the area and sustaining growth in the future, and the consideration of addition of the population through growth in job availability, increasing additional business activities, development of additional housing. The data center is a strategic investment that can bring long-term economic stability and diversification to the community. Whereas the specific goals and measures of the success of this project are determined to be the feasibility of the project or plan for this project that addresses economic development objectives. Whereas the Business Ready Community Grant Loan Program requires that certain criteria be met as described in the Wyoming Business Council rules governing the program, and to the best of our knowledge, this application meets those criteria. And whereas the governing body of the town of Shoshone plans to provide cash match to this Business Ready Community Grant and Loan Program planning project from the following sources: general fund capital projects, $16,666.67. Whereas in event of any project overruns, the town of Shoshone will provide funding in the amount necessary to complete the project utilizing general fund capital projects. Whereas the governing body of the town of Shoshone has considered other possible funding solutions for the project, which includes general funds. And whereas the town of Shoshone is working in partnership at this time with ID Inc. as a partner, as Shoshone has been considered as a possible place for a site, and we are looking to see if it's feasible for our town. Whereas the town of Shoshone held a public hearing August 29, 2025 to solicit testimony from citizens. Now, therefore, it be resolved by the governing body of the town of Shoshone that the grant application, in the amount of $50,000, be submitted to the Wyoming Business Council for considerations of assistance in funding the feasibility studies for a data center. Be it further resolved that Mayor Joel Highsmith and Grant Administrator Chris Koji are hereby designated as the authorized representatives of the town of Shoshone to act in behalf of the governing body on all matters relating to this grant application. Can I have a motion to approve resolution number 25-004?
I make a motion to approve resolution number 25-004.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Councilman Whitener to approve resolution number 25-004 and seconded by Councilman Nordine. Is there any further discussion? I would just like to note when we did an unofficial straw poll that all 12 people in the audience did vote in favor of moving this resolution forward to look at the feasibility study.
13, there was one in the hall.
13, okay, 13 total. And it was, everybody had many questions, but decided to move forward. Any further discussion from any of the? No one other, all in favor say aye. Aye, pose the same. Motion passed all in the affirmative. Go down to, B. We have, are we gonna, anybody want to kick around a little more about the data center?
I wasn't sure why you wanted.
The only thing maybe I was gonna bring up was the Lunavi data center that Courtney Thompson, the co-founder of SHS grad, 97 grad. And we talked about that during the discussion, so we can move on. Anybody have any questions or anything about that? Yeah, look them up on the internet, very interesting. Consumption permit, Shoshoni hot summer nights. Do we have that?
It's for the consumption permit, for the day in the park and the concert, about 200 people. Our date of event is 8:30 hours, 12 p.m. to 11 p.m. Wine and wine coolers and malt.
Malt beverages?
Beer.
That's it. I'll make some motion to approve.
Been moved by Councilman Hart that we approve the consumption permit for the Shoshoni hot summer night. Second by Councilman Stetler. Any further discussion? I see none. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Pose the same. Motion passed all in the affirmative. D, road closure, 100 block Main Street, Kim.
That's for the hot summer nights.
Hot summer nights also.
I move we close the 100 block of Main Street, the hot summer nights, the same way we've done it the past several years.
Been moved by Councilman Stetler, the road closure at 100 block Main Street be approved.
I'll second it.
Second by Councilwoman Hartke, as we've done in the past. Any further discussion? None being all in favor.
Road will be back open at 5 o'clock, so 5:30, somewhere in there. I guess we can affirmatively say 6.
Road will be open by 6 o'clock.
Probably sooner.
Right.
Probably more like 5 to 5:30, but give us a little bit of leeway
Okay.
to officially get everybody's cars out of there and trailered up and all the things and then that way for the concert, they're able to use that for parking, etc.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? None being. All in favor, say aye. Aye. So the same. Motion passed all in affirmative. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Been moved by Councilman Hartke. Can I have a second? Second by Councilman Stetler. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. For the same. Motion passed. Meeting closed 7:21. 7:20. Very good. Great job. I really appreciate